Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Bhadresha Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 10, the trunk branches and sub-branches of the Chaitanya tree, text 85. So we were discussing the purport of text 85. We'll start from where we left yesterday. When Jiva Goswami was still present, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami compiled his famous Chaitanya Charitamrita. Later, Srila Jiva Goswami inspired Srinivasa Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Dukhi Krishnadas to preach Krishna consciousness in Bengal. So this is also a wonderful story how he got his name Dukhi Krishnadas, and later on his name was changed, obviously. So later on we'll talk about him. Jiva Goswami was informed that all the manuscripts that had been collected from Vrindavan and sent to Bengal for preaching purposes were plundered near Vishnupura in Bengal. But later he received the information that the books had been recovered. So at that time, all the books, all the original manuscripts written by Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Gopal Bhatt Goswami, and other Goswamis of Vrindavan. There were no printing presses or pen drives that they could be sent through. All the original manuscripts, Jiva Goswami was sending them to Bengal with these three devotees, Srinivasa Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Krishnadas. When they reached this place, Vishnupur, in Bengal, the king over there, I don't remember his name, he was told by his astrologers, somehow they had good astrologers at that in this cart, bullock cart, there's a great treasure going. So at night when these three were sleeping, so king sent his soldiers who came as thieves, they stole everything, the boxes full of manuscripts, and they left. And when these three devotees got up, they saw the bullock cart was empty. They were crying, what happened here? So I believe it was Srinivasa Acharya. Yeah, I think it was him, not Narottam Das Thakur, and not the other one. He said, okay, you two carry on, and I'll go collect the manuscripts. Wherever they are, we have to pray, and I hope they are safe, and I'll try to collect. So he went to the king's palace, to the court. And the king and the king's pandit had studied some of the manuscripts, but he could not understand anything. Because first of all, when king opened the boxes, he saw all the manuscripts. So he was like, what is this? You told me they're going to be treasure, and there is no treasure here, it's all books. So then the king's pandit, he studied the manuscripts, but the manuscripts or the scriptures, one cannot understand just by studying. So at that time, Srinivasa Acharya came over there, and then while discussing, he figured out the manuscripts are here with the king. So he asked for a discussion, Shastra. So the king's pandit, he sat down with Srinivasa Acharya to do the Shastra, and Srinivasa Acharya was fully trained or realized those scriptures and defeated that Brahman in every way possible. So then king fell down at the feet of Srinivasacharya and he said, I made a mistake, I stole this. You are my guru now, you please tell me what to do. Yeah, the king name was Bir Hamir. I was thinking of that name, Bir Hamir. So Srinivasacharya said, okay, you give all the manuscripts back, send them to Narottam Das Thakur had gone to Assam and distribute them to these, and Bir Hamir then took initiation from Srinivasacharya, and really then the whole kingdom became Vaishnava in the process. And the king said, we have to follow the teachings given in these scriptures. So this is how they recovered the books. Jiva Goswami awarded the designation Kaviraj to Ramchandra Sen, a disciple of Srinivasacharya, and to Ramchandra's younger brother, Govinda. While Jiva Goswami was alive, Srimati Janma Devi, the pleasure potency of Sri Nityanand Prabhu, went to Vrindavan with a few devotees. Jiva Goswami was very kind to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas from Bengal. Whoever went to Vrindavan, he provided with the residence and prasad. His disciple Krishnadas Adhikari listed all the books of the Goswamis in his diary. So further it says, the Sahajiya's level 3 accusations against Jiva Goswami. This is certainly not congenial for the execution of devotional service. The first accusation concerns a materialist who was very proud of his reputation as a great Sanskrit scholar and approached Rupa and Sanatan to argue with them about the revealed scriptures. So this was a scholar from Kashmir. Actually, his name was Digvijay Pandit from Kashmir. So Kashmir, 500 years ago, it was a high seat of learning. It wasn't just the rivers and the valleys and this and that. High seat of learning. There was and still there are so many sadhus doing tapasya over there. So this Digvijay Pandit came and he had heard of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, and he wanted to defeat them. So Prabhupada says, Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, not wanting to waste their time, gave him a written statement that he had defeated them in a debate on the revealed scriptures. So they said, what is it? We accept our defeat. So you take our signatures and go away, show it to everyone. So that was like a Vijay Patra. So while he was going out of the house of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, he passed by Jiva Goswami because Jiva Goswami was doing the dishes in the kitchen. And this Digvijay Pandit, he was saying, oh, I have defeated Rupa and Sanatan, I have defeated Rupa and Sanatan. He was very happy, very jubilant. And Jiva Goswami heard that. He said, what? You defeated Rupa and Sanatan Goswami? And he was doing dishes, he called that Pandit. And he said, what are you talking about? Oh, I defeated this, see the Vijay Patra they have signed. Jiva Goswami said, okay, let me speak with you for a while. Let us discuss the scriptures. So this is what Prabhupada said. Taking this paper, the scholar approached Jiva Goswami for a similar certificate of defeat. But Jiva Goswami did not agree to give him. On the contrary, he argued with him regarding the scriptures and defeated him. And defeated him badly, and that Digvijay Pandit just ran away from there. And he signed the paper because that was a deal that you have to sign the Vijay Patra. And Jiva Goswami, he said, okay, Jiva Goswami defeated me. So certainly it was right for Jiva Goswami to stop such a dishonest scholar from advertising that he had defeated Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. But due to the illiteracy, the Sahaja class referred to this incident to accuse Srila Jiva Goswami of deviating from the principle of humility. But that's not true. Jiva Goswami was protecting the honor of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. They could not be defeated. Out of their humility, and they said, why waste time with this bogus guy? So they just signed the Vijay Patra. So both are correct. This is contradiction. Rupa and Sanatana Goswami were correct, and Jiva Goswami is also correct. But then what happened was, Rupa Goswami called Jiva Goswami. He said, why did you waste your time with that so-called scholar? We are not here to waste our time. We are here to please Radharani. And Rupa Goswami said, because you're very proud of your scholarship, you're not fit to live in Vrindavan. And also he said, you were envious of that Digvijay Pandit, Kashmiri Pandit's scholarship. So you're not fit to live in Vrindavan. Get out of here. Can you imagine? Rupa Goswami chastising Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami, he was a little boy. He was their nephew. And he cried and he left the ashram. Sanatana Goswami was not there. Somehow Jiva Goswami left. So as we know, Sanatana Goswami used to go, and Rupa Goswami also, to different villages for Madhukari and to get their food. So he went to one village, and outside the door of the house, they knock on the door and they say, Radhe Shyam. And the lady generally, either she brings or she sends her kids with the food. So somehow the lady was taking too long outside, inside the house. So Sanatana Goswami knocked on the door again. Radhe Shyam, please give me Maya, give me something. And this lady came, and Brajvasis are Brajvasis. Nobody can compare with them. So she came, she started yelling at Sanatana Goswami, "Hey Baba, kya hai? What kind of Baba you are? You have no patience. Our Baba of our village, he has so much of patience. He doesn't even ask anybody. But you have no patience. You have become old and this and that," this lady said. And then Sanatana Goswami thought, who is this Baba of your village? I've never heard of anybody, because Sanatana Goswami knew everybody in Braj. So the lady said, well, he lives in this cave near Yamuna, and we go and give him food. He doesn't even come outside begging. So Sanatana Goswami said, well, let me go check him. So he went there, and it was Jiva Goswami. So Sanatana Goswami said, he found out whatever happened, and he said, okay, come with me, let's go back. So Jiva Goswami went back, and Sanatana Goswami told Jiva to stay outside the door, and he went inside the room where Rupa Goswami was writing. And he asked Rupa Goswami, Rupa, what are the three principles of devotional service? Rupa Goswami said, well, the three principles are Nam Ruchi, Jivedaya, and Vaishnava Seva. These are three principles of devotion service. But Sanatana said, but you have forgotten one. I mean, you're not following one of these. Rupa Goswami, what I'm not following? He said, you're not following Jiva there. He called Jiva Goswami. He said, Jiva Goswami is there. Jiva is there. You're not being merciful on him. You kicked him out. And Rupa Goswami said, I was also waiting for him to come back. He should not take the chastisement so seriously. And he told Jiva Goswami, okay, do your service. And actually, another time it happened, Again, Jiva Goswami was busy serving his uncles, and now we know Vallabhacharya of Pushti Mark. He came to see Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. And he had, no, either he had written a book, no. Rupa Goswami asked him to look at Nectar of Devotion that he had written. And he said, please tell me if I made any mistake. Because Vallabhacharya was also a great scholar. So Vallabhacharya said, okay. And Vallabhacharya took the manuscript with him, and he was reading, and next day he came and he pointed out one mistake. And Rupa Goswami said, yes, whatever you say is right. I made a mistake here. And Vallabhacharya left and he went to Yamuna and he was doing his bhajan over there. Jiva Goswami went after him. He said, can you even imagine, do you have the audacity to say that Rupa Goswami can make a mistake? What was the mistake you pointed out? And Vallabhacharya said, this was the mistake, whatever Sanskrit grammar. And Jiva Goswami proved that, no, Vallabhacharya, you made the mistake. Rupa Goswami did not make the mistake. Citing scriptures, Jiva Goswami proved that. And then Vallabhacharya understood, yes, I didn't understand it properly. So he came to Rupa Goswami and he said, well, it was my mistake. You were right. Whatever you're writing is correct. And Jiva Goswami corrected me. And Rupa Goswami, when he heard that, Vallabhacharya left, but Rupa Goswami chastised Jiva Goswami. What is it? You had the audacity to correct Vallabhacharya. You have become such a big scholar that you can correct him. So this is a mood of Rupa Goswami, mood of Sanatana, mood of Jiva Goswami. All are wonderful acharyas, have given so much of literature to us. But Jiva Goswami was always protecting the honor of his uncles. And he knew, because they are from spiritual world, so whatever they write is perfect. So Sahajya said Jiva Goswami was not humble. He was very humble. And they cite that one should follow the example given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya says in his Shikshashtaka, Trinadapi Shanichena Tarorapi Sahishna Manina Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari. One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So, but they don't understand the meaning of this verse. When it comes to protect the honor of Vaishnavas or protect the Lord, one can go to any extreme. Hanumanji, Arjun, they killed so many people. Hanumanji burned Lanka down, but he's always considered very humble. But that burning of Lanka was for the sake of Ram, service of Ram, not for himself. So although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this verse, but when the Lord was informed that Nityananda Prabhu was injured by Jagai and Madai, he immediately went to the spot, angry like fire, wanting to kill them. Thus Lord Chaitanya has explained his verse by the example of his own behavior. One should tolerate insults against oneself, but when there is blasphemy committed against superiors, such as other Vaishnavas, one should be neither humble nor meek. One must take proper steps to counteract such blasphemy. This is the duty of a servant of a Guru and Vaishnavas. Anyone who understands the principle of eternal servitude to Guru and Vaishnavas will appreciate the actions of Shilaji Goswami in connection with the so-called scholar's victory over his gurus, Sri Rupa and Srila Sanatana Goswami. So another story fabricated to defame Shilaji Goswami states that when Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami showed him the newly completed manuscript of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jiva Goswami thought it would hamper his reputation as a big scholar and therefore threw it into a well. They're all stories. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was greatly shocked according to this story and he died immediately. Fortunately, a copy of manuscript of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita had been kept by a person named Mukunda, and therefore it was possible to publish the book. This story is another ignominious example of blasphemy against the Guru and Vaishnava. Such a story should never be accepted as authoritative. And another accusation. According to another accusation, Srila Jiva Goswami did not approve of the principles of the Parakiya Ras of Rajna and therefore supported Swakiya Ras, showing that Radha and Krishna are eternally married. Actually, when Jiva Goswami was alive, some of his followers disliked the Parakiya Ras of the gopis. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami, for their spiritual benefit, supported Swakiya Ras, for he could understand the Sahajiyas would otherwise exploit the Parakiya Ras, as they are actually doing at the present time. So Parakiya Ras, Swakiya Ras, we discussed during the Ras Lila time of Krishna. So Parakiya Ras or Parakiya Bhav is to enjoy with Krishna enjoying with others' wives. Again, it's just a bhav. We have to understand. And Swakiya is with his own wife. So Swakiya, those who follow Swakiya, they say Radha and Krishna are eternally married. But Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas have explained they were not. They married by Brahmaji Pandiyavan, but that was a hidden affair. Radha and Krishna wanted to enjoy this Parakiya Bhav. But what happens and this, we start thinking or exploiting this Parakiya, thinking that if Krishna can do that, we can also do. So these Sahajiyas or sentimentalists, they would exploit this Parakiya Ras, as they were actually doing at that time. Unfortunately, in Vrindavan and Navadvip, it has become fashionable among Sahajiyas in the debauchery to find an unmarried sexual partner to live with to execute so-called devotion service in Parakiya Ras. So that is completely, as Professor, debauchery. Their whole purpose is to enjoy sex life with unmarried sexual partner. That's all. There's no Parakiya Ras in this, or Bhav. The stage of Bhav comes so later, and that Bhav is not thinking, I have become Krishna or I have become gopis. Gaudiya philosophy, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy is pretty clear. We are not going to become Krishna or Radharani or gopis anymore. We are just their servants. Parakiya Ras, Parakiya Bhav, or other pastimes of Krishna are for us to see how we can serve Radha and Krishna in their pastimes. And also for us to meditate on those pastimes, if we can, and get purified. Understanding Krishna is the controller, proprietor, and enjoyer. Not us. Not us, jivas. We are conditioned living entities, fallen in the material world. So foreseeing this, Srila Jiva Goswami supported Swakiya Ras, and later all the Vaishnava Acharyas also approved of it. Srila Jiva Goswami was never opposed to the transcendental Parakyanas, nor has any other Vaishnava disapproved of it. Srila Jiva Goswami strictly followed his predecessor gurus and Vaishnavas. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted him as one of his instructor gurus. So this idea or this blame game, spreading rumors, this has always been going on. Even Jiva Goswami was not above this. He was blamed for so many things. And similarly others also. So this tendency is always there. We cannot run away from it. It's just while going through it, we carry on with our devotion service with more sincerity, more seriously, taking shelter of lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, more fixedly, with more determination. That should be our goal. Because people are always people. Material people, they'll start to find faults everywhere, anywhere. That's what they do. So that should not hamper our devotional service. And to keep in mind, it will happen. It has happened with Jiva Goswami also, and it will happen with us. It's for sure. Just we have to be more surrendered. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, you all are safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.